This video is going to be decently awkward for me to make, as during the production of this I have my slave cowering in the depths of his dungeon, muted and unable to comprehend what I'm properly saying. But Radioexp, not necessarily a great person so far. They probably were in the past, but this is an example of someone who turned genuinely just into a pretty scummy person in the span of like a year. So really, this just kind of shows what just certain events can do to someone. And I guess it's like a way to say, be aware of your surroundings, who you talk to, who you surround yourself with, and genuinely the choices you make in a year. Because eventually you'll become someone who loses a lot just from certain choices you make. Now this video is going to segue into another video regarding just the entire art community in general. But I have a personal, a dilemma against this person and related to this event. So I wanted to, call it out and just spill the tea, sis. I'm never saying that again, but disclaimer before I actually get into everything. You shouldn't send any harassment to any of the people I necessarily bring up in this video at all. And if you do, suck your mom, okay? Suck your mom. Now, Radioexp, someone who personally took a few friends away from me, and possibly people who I could have considered clients when it comes to commissioning and art and working further with them into content, backstabs two of her closest friends and ends up slandering one of them on Twitter, which, kind of a dunce move. Gotta say, kinda stupid. But the two people I'm going to bring up a few times while I was making this video go by the names of Speeds, or Speedsy, whatever, and JBBX, whatever. But anyways, Radio is an artist who resides mostly within Twitter Newgrounds, and she was very close friends with both Speeds and Jabibi. I'm going to be referencing Speed's newest little twitlonger regarding his experience with Radio. And what he's doing is technically considered slander, so I feel like I have the right to talk about this situation. Because, even if it's not as bad as pedo accusations, still can kind of put someone's entire career in danger, to be honest. Gotta think about that rationally, why don't you? From my recollection, Speeds knew Radio for about a year, longer than Jabibi did. And during this period, Radio would intentionally act quite, flirtatious, obscene, possibly even seductive around Speeds, and Speeds eventually started doing the same back. Now I have two people who I've gotten actual witness accounts knowing that this actually happened, and I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. Those two people, they let me say their names: Fizzy Goldting and Leno Productions. New name rolls off their tongue. Good job, Leno. But the way Radio had set this up was just aiming for disaster for Speeds. She was setting this up intentionally. Because what she failed to point out amongst the entire year being friends with Speeds is that she was with multiple people. Not all at once, but throughout the year she was on and off in different relationships with other people, while as being flirtatious with Speeds. And me having common sense, I don't believe Speeds was the only one being treated this way by her. Because, from his recollection, a few months, I believe, later, he got a message from her current partner at the time, threatening him because he was talking sexually with his girlfriend. Not fun, You're kind of making someone look like a scumbag for no reason, Radio. Why do that? It was one of your friends, too, you know? Not a really good idea, you know? But even though it's not cancelable, it's still a scummy move to do, and either way, I'm gonna keep bringing this up. You're just, like, digging yourself a grave here, because as soon as Speeds just kind of let this all out to everybody, there was a lot of people that I could tell just kind of realized a few things and very likely turned their backs on radio, which is not a good thing, obviously. And you know, in some way I do feel bad for her, but you sabotaged one of your friends and possibly found a way to get them in a deal of trouble. That's not a really great thing. To stop himself from catching feelings, Speed stopped talking to radio, but occasionally spoke here and there. Turns out, she didn't really take this well and deactivated her Twitter. I say she didn't take it well because after Speeds had a decent chat with radio about the situation, asking if he was the reason that she deactivated her account and her claiming that he was. He found out that she was making false claims against him, saying that he forced her off of Twitter. Because apparently after she left Twitter, she had a hiatus. You shouldn't lie about that. Now, due to the screenshots being sort of unreadable, I won't include all of them, but the twitlonger containing all of these screenshots will be in the description. Just look at it, please. You know, get context. But I guess the whole reason I am saying this is, again, just to, like, show examples and signs of someone turning the wrong direction in life. Because radio began to show signs of being a pathological liar and ended up making herself believe, in a dumb way to be honest, that Speed did this to her, and she started to believe all of her lies she was really saying in regards to both JBB and Speeds. At the time of recording this, she has since deleted her account, her first alternate account. She now has another one. She rebranded, and I'm not gonna say who and what she rebranded to. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. But being as petty as she is, radio decided to make alt accounts to go and harass Speeds through Instagram, most likely, sort of screenshots we have available to us, and push Speeds unjustly to send a photo of himself to another person, which was her, and kept insulting her and using slurs to describe him, even though he's not of color. It's still kind of not great. Like, you don't really need to describe someone that way, especially because you're not of color yourself. You don't need to do that. It's not necessary. Just don't do that. And Speeds even apologized for talking to someone without even realizing, like talking flirty with radio without even realizing she was with people. He apologized for all of that, and she's still treating him like utter garbage for something he didn't intend to do and was set up all by her. During all of this, she tried breaking up a friendship between both Speeds and BB, and both of those guys they're close. I've spoken with BB quite a few times in my pre-existing thoughts, and they're close. He talks about him a decent amount. They're pretty nicely close. And they were a trio, but for her to just kind of go out and try to literally just break a friendship for no reason other than you have a grudge against one probably made Speeds feel even more betrayed than he probably ever has, you know? Radio has since privated her Twitter account, and there is more that is worth bringing up, but I don't want to bug more people that really had problems with her. I don't want to go and cause any more trouble. since I've spoken to Speed a few times, and Jabibi, I feel like I'd rather just stick with what I know and who I know, not get any deeper unless asked to. Do not send any hate to radio, not Speed, it's not whoever. Use her as a learning example. Don't get cocky with your lies. They're gonna bite you in the ass. So long.